This is the 2021 Ford Mustang Mach-E, Ford's brand new electric vehicle for the 2021 model year, and the saving grace for the Mustang going forward in the future. This thing's powered by either a 68 kilowatt hour or an 88 kilowatt hour battery, available in both all-wheel and rear-wheel drive. This thing is an absolute beauty! I'm super excited about it today because I've got the ability to test drive one finally. We're gonna dive into it and have a little bit of fun. Let's go for it. Whew. So excited right now. Like, it's actually kind of ridiculous how excited I am to be driving this thing today. All right, so 334 kilometer charge left in this thing. It is the premium all-wheel drive with the extended range battery. So I am so excited to see how this thing is going to handle out on the road. Let's have a little bit of fun and let's do this thing. Okay. Oh my gosh. Okay, like I said, I am so unbelievably excited right now. All right, let's adjust this a tiny little bit. Oh, there we go. There we go. That's better. Okay, that's good. That's good. Let's get that mirror over a little bit. This is nice. I had a feeling. So this is the thing. I've never been behind the wheel of a fully electric vehicle ever. So this is the first time I've ever actually driven an electric, and that's for any manufacturer, so any OEM. I'm shocked at how this thing feels. Like, the feel of it is almost like your traditional, like, it feels like a normal car. Oh, that's really, really cool. Really, really nice. Oh, this is cool. Oh, okay, interesting. So it's got a brake coach on there as well. I didn't even notice it. I was just kind of paying attention to this thing as I was driving. Oh, that's really neat. Okay, here we go. Definitely taking this thing on the highway today. I am very curious how this thing is going to handle it on the road, or on the highway specifically. Okay. And we've got our cruise system on there as well. Distance indicator on the adaptive cruise control. So the adaptive cruise control is essentially just your set it and forget it cruise control. So you set the speed, let's say at 110 kilometers on the highway. If the car in front of you slows down, yours is automatically going to brake. If for whatever reason they speed up, get out of the way, etc., it's going to automatically pick you right back up to your set speed again. Now, on top of that, I've got the lane centering system okay, come on now. Okay, so I've got the lane centering system turned on as well. And this thing is literally okay, so I technically, as of right now, need my hands on the wheel. But one of the nice things about the Mach-E is that, okay, yeah, so it's saying keep your hands on the steering wheel. But one of the nice things about the Mach-E is that it also is going to have a package which is going to give you the ability to drive hands-free. So that self-driving Tesla mode that, you know, they've really got their big claim to fame for, that is coming very soon in Ford vehicles. Inside of the select version of the vehicle, you can add it on as a package. It's available standard inside of the premium, but it's going to give you that capability. So I am so excited for when that happens, because it's literally going to be a self-driving car. You've got the adaptive cruise setup with that other system set up as well, and you'd be set to go. Oh, this is really neat. This is really cool. Where's this guy going? Where are you going, feller? Oh, he's just trying to check out the car. That's it. That's all he wanted to do. He's just checking it out. Or he was trying to overtake me in a weird way. I don't know. Drivers are weird sometimes. Oh, here we go. Okay, so here's the first thing I noticed. I've got a tendency when I drive to put my hand on the shifter, which in this thing there's obviously no shifter. We've got a selector switch to go between park, reverse, neutral, drive, etc. So that kind of caught me off guard initially. Not a big thing. It's going to be something to get used to, like anything. this is really, really comfortable. Like it feels solid. Like it just feels like it's, like I haven't even really given it much juice yet, like, but it feels incredible. Oh, this is really cool. Boom. Okay, so brake coach. Of course, now I remember to look at the brake coach. So it's really, really neat regenerative braking. So as you brake, or as the vehicle slows down, it's going to recharge the battery a bit. So it's not going to be the same type of charge you're going to get as you plug in, but at the same time, it's nice to know that while we brake and while we're slowing down, it is partially recharging the battery. So that's kind of neat. Okay, this is like the moment of truth. So I'm taking this thing on the highway. I am so excited to feel the performance of this thing as I gun it a tiny little bit. Like a little. Just a little bit. All right, here we go. So we've got that. Such a nice feeling. Okay, so I'm gonna turn the adaptive cruise control system on. My lane keeping system is already turned on as well. So we're gonna have both systems running in unison as we go. Right, here we go. Oh, I'm so excited right now. So excited. All right, so I'm gonna turn the adaptive on. I'm gonna set it at 100 when I get onto the high. Oh, wow. Oh my gosh. Oh, what? What? No. Okay, come on now. That is ridiculous. That's amazing. All right, so the adaptive cruise system works great. The pickup on this thing is incredible. I've got the lane keeping system going simultaneously, so it's keeping me in my lane. Oh, this is really, really cool. Gun it, and you're gone. What? What? Okay, so lane keeping system's on, lane centering system's on. I've got my hands just kind of hovering over the wheel, but it is literally keeping me stuck in my lane. Oh, that is so cool. Okay, I normally just do a one exit thing. I'm gonna go a couple more exits because of how amazing this thing is. So I've got it set to 100 and change. Oh, this is nice. So the adaptive cruise system essentially, as I mentioned, set it and forget it cruise control. I've got it set at a certain speed, and the car in front of me is going a little bit slower. So my set speed is actually, I'm slowing down a little bit, it's picking back up speed again. So it's all gonna be based on what's going on with the vehicle in front of you. So if the car in front of you starts to slow down, yours will automatically brake as well. But this is a super comfortable experience. This is really cool. Okay, this is gonna be interesting. So I've got a guy who's about to merge on. He's gonna merge, I guarantee it, which means that my car is gonna slow down, and it should happen in a second. Distance indicator, there we go. So it's slowed me down to under 100, and it's picking me right back up to my set speed again. So that's the nice thing about that adaptive cruise control system, is that essentially what's going to happen is you set it at a certain speed, car in front of you slows down, yours will automatically brake. So it's a really useful feature, especially if you've got a heavy foot. And one of the nice things there is that if you've got a heavy foot, what'll happen is it's a psychological thing. So your head will think that you're slowing down, or so your head will think that you're going the same speed that you would set it at, but realistically your speedometer, I should say, is going to say different, which is really useful. Like I said, if you've got a heavier foot, because it kind of plays a mind game with you, because in your mind you think I set it at 120 or whatever the case may be on the highway, but you don't even realize that you're going slower. Oh, this is really cool. Okay, I think I'm sold. I've been trying to figure out what the next car is going to be for me, and this is really, like, this is probably going to be in my top 2 now. Again, it all kind of hinged on what this thing was going to handle like on the road, and I am blown away. The power is amazing. Wow. And I'm not even really pushing it. Like, I'm giving it a little bit of gas, but like, I'm not pushing it as much as you probably could push this thing. Oh, that's really neat. Yeah, I've got the lane centering system that's on right now as well. So starting to veer over. It's going to auto-correct, pull me back into my lane. Really, really nice. This is so neat. I'm like a child right now. It's like I'm playing with a new toy. Like, oh! It's got, obviously, like whenever you get a new car, you're going to have that feeling where you're like, this is really, really cool. But there's just something about this Mustang that like, it just feels like it's another level. That's really neat. Okay, intelligent. Okay, so I don't have the intelligent cruise control on. So there's the adaptive cruise control and then there's the intelligent cruise. So the adaptive cruise is that set it and forget it cruise, car in front of you, etc. slows down. We've kind of been there, done that. The intelligent cruise control takes it to the next level because it's all based on a tolerance level. So let's say if you've got the set speed for, I don't know, let's say you're just driving along a regular residential road and the posted speed limit is 60 and then all of a sudden it drops from 60 to 50. With an intelligent cruise control, if you've got it set at a 0 tolerance, it's automatically going to drop you to whatever that set speed is automatically. So you don't need to worry about it. But as I mentioned, you do have to have the adaptive cruise control system turned on in order for it to work. But this is really, really cool. Oh, okay, braking. How'd it go? Okay. So it's interesting. So the brake coach doesn't show up all the time on that screen. It's just kind of as we're stopping. Okay, I get you. I'm actually curious if there's a way to have that permanently on. Drive modes, parking. Oh, I didn't even try the unbridled version. I might have to pull around and then do a U-ey and then get off. Yeah, I think I'm going to do that. I'm going to switch it to the unbridled mode and we're really going to have a little bit of fun in this thing. Oh! Yeah, because there are 3 generic drive modes. So, 3 generic drive modes for this thing. You've got the capability to switch out the drive mode if you need to. Let's see here. So we've got our Engage, our Whisper, and then the Unbridled. So the Unbridled is really where we're going to go in order to really get that crazy, truer performance. So let's do this. Okay, and let's turn on Unbridled for a second. Ha ha ha. Here we go. Okay, and 3, 2, and let's go. I haven't even started yet. And then overall performance-wise, like battery-wise, so I started off, I believe the charge is sitting around 330, traveled about 5 kilometers, and it's affected the range about 6.5 kilometers, 7 kilometers. So, but having said that, I did gun it a little bit. So if you gun the vehicle, if you're kind of pushing if you're kind of pushing the car a little bit more, then it's going to do a couple things. You're going to use more juice. So if you want to really extend the range of your battery, you're going to want to make sure that you kind of drive like grandma would drive, right? So you're going to want to go a little bit slower on the acceleration, maybe not necessarily maxing out on the top speed. Okay, here we go. So I'm driving a little bit slower, a little bit careful. Well, I'm not saying that I was speeding before, but I'm driving a little bit more grandma style, just kind of riding the gas pedal a little bit, like a tiny little bit, but it's now balanced out. So I've used 7 kilometers, I've driven 7 kilometers. Whoa, I just went over a bump and I didn't really even feel, oh, that's so cool. All right, so the suspension system obviously in this thing is incredible. Oh, I can see myself getting into trouble with this thing. Okay, that is comfortable. Like the car itself, it just feels heavy, which is not necessarily a bad thing. As I've been reading a lot of great reviews talking about the Mustang compared to the Model Y specifically, and I'm getting some interesting feedback on it, but the weight of it, apparently the back row of the Mustang is even more comfortable than the Model Y, and there's a few other things to take into account there. So we're in the unbridled mode right now, going to flip onto the highway for a second. Let's see what this thing is going to be like. Okay. Ready? There's a car that's a bit, I just have a feeling that when I gun it, I'm gone. So I'm just going to kind of hang back a little bit. And 3, 2, 1, let's do it. Oh my God. That's amazing. That's amazing. What? I put my foot down and I was gone. Gone. All right, here we go. I'm going to do it again. Okay, 3, 2. Okay, come on. That is incredible. Not great. That is incredible. Wow. Wow. That is so cool. So cool. Okay, come on. Lane keeping system still got me going. It's still got me covered. It's still twisting the steering wheel for me as we go. Okay, this is really cool. And it's just like, it's an electric vehicle, so you've got instant torque, but the power, like, it just feels so incredibly powerful. Like, I love it. This is amazing. Like, reviewing this car, like in my last video where I go over all of the different features and things like that, it's a good video, but this, like, the real world experience of what it's actually like behind the wheel of this thing, like, this speaks volumes. If you're kind of on the fence about getting an electric vehicle and you're not really sure what to go with, like, if you can budget this thing out, even looking at the select version of the vehicle, because you can get it all-wheel drive or your rear-wheel drive instead, I'd say look at it. Whether you go with the extended range or not, that's going to depend on you and like how far you typically travel. But I mean, realistically, you're looking at like a 30-40% boost in your numbers if you look at the extended range versus the standard range battery. So if you need those longer distance trips, look at the extended range. Like, this thing was hovering around 350, 370 or so at a full charge before I started playing around with some features and things like that. Okay, come on. Come on. Oh, okay, hold on. I was like, wait, what's happening? I thought it was, okay, so interesting thing on the electric side of things. So when you're on the highway in a traditional gas engine and you take your foot off the gas, then it'll actually slow you down a little bit. That's just the way that highways are designed. But with the electric vehicle, taking my foot off the gas, it's slowing me down. It's slowing me down even more so than what I would have anticipated or what I would have been used to in a regular gas vehicle. Okay, hold on. No. Oh, that's so cool. So cool. Okay, so here's the other side of it. This time I took my foot off the brake and I just kind of let the vehicle slow itself down when I was coming to a stop. The brake coach did not show up there, so I'm not sure yet if that means that, I don't know if it was maybe because I wasn't braking that brake coach wasn't there. I'm gonna have to do a little bit more digging into that, but this is surprising. Like, it is super comfortable. And it's super powerful too. Now, that's one of the things that I wasn't really sure of, like, what I was going to expect inside of the performance of this thing. Like, is it going to be able to hold up to your traditional Mustang EcoBoost or the GT? Now, that raw rumbling feeling that you get inside of a 5-liter, you're obviously not going to get that inside of the electric. But if you're looking for something with a good amount of power, this is a killer option. All right. Wow. Wow. There's like literally all I can say is wow. This thing is really, really cool. Now, one thing to note, this is the all-wheel drive version, so we're obviously going to have better traction, specifically in the winter time. So if you live in those northern states, I guess even Texas, you guys got hit pretty bad down there with snow recently. So, but typically, like if you're in the northernmost states or if you're throughout Canada, getting the all-wheel drive version, especially if your plan is to drive this thing year-round, is a smart idea. Like realistically, could you get away with a rear-wheel drive with winter tires? Yes, but you're going to get much better traction looking at the all-wheel drive instead. For the cost difference of it, I'd say look at it. If you're kind of contemplating between, do you go the all-wheel drive or do you look at the extended range battery? Like I'd say get the all-wheel drive in the standard range, just from a budgeting perspective. But you could also look at the rear-wheel drive extended. But I think the all-wheel drive standard is probably going to be good enough for the majority of people. But this is so nice. This is so nice. Okay. Boom. Oh, yes. And that seat minder. So that's one of the really, really cool things about this thing is that you do have a seat minder letting you know to check the back seats. If you're never going to have anybody in the back seat, you can absolutely you can turn that one off. So if you don't want that reminder every time, but it is a super useful feature. And that was the driving review, the first impressions of what this thing actually feels like on the road. I've got to say, guys, like I haven't driven. Okay, so here's a disclaimer. I have not driven the Model Y yet. But from what I've read about it, they're very comparable with the exception of the back seat. But this thing, apparently the Mustang feels, it just feels like a heavier vehicle. So that means I'm going to have to get behind the wheel of a Model Y. But looking at general impression wise, does the Mach-E make sense? I absolutely think so. This thing was an incredible drive, incredible feel. It's got great mileage on it, great capabilities, and this is Ford's first attempt at the Mustang Mach-E. I can only imagine what it's going to look like in 2 years, in 5 years. Like it's going to be night and day. So if you're not necessarily sold on the electrics just yet, don't worry about it. Give it a year or two. Pricing's probably going to get more competitive as we go. There are going to be different incentives available, and then these vehicles are the first generation are going to be available off lease as people trade them in, trade them up, etc. So you're going to have a ton of options and a ton of flexibility. I hope you guys enjoyed the video and you kind of got a little bit of an understanding of what it might be like behind the wheel of one of these things. If you have any questions, make sure you drop down in the comments section below and let me know. But until I see you next time, make sure you stay safe.